What's good, campers? It's your boy Killer Beezy. Right now we're gonna go through my mastery setup. I wasn't ever planning to do a mastery setup video. I only have done it today because one of my subscribers hollered at me in a video today, and he said, "Oh, like, yo, what were you saying? Like, you're gonna do a mastery setup video?" And I kind of thought, you know what, I wasn't planning to, but if there are people out there that want to see it, then you know what, let's just do it. So let's take a look here, and if anybody's wondering why I haven't got a title activated, I haven't got a title that I like, and I don't just want to have one for the sake of having one. But I think for the current quest that's out, I think there's one that if you complete Master Quest, I think there's one called Lord of Darkness or something like that. Yo, I want that one still. So when I get that, I'm gonna put that up there, even though everybody else is gonna have it, but still, I'm gonna put that one up there. But anyway, it's not about that. We're gonna look at masteries. So as you can see here, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just probably gonna explain where I've got the extra points and maybe why I've got the extra points. So so my first one is quite a very basic setup. So we got the odd 1 points here and there. As you can see, we've maxed out precision to increase the critical rate of all champions by 10%, which is good. You want your champions to be doing as much critical hit damage as possible. And then we've maxed cruelty, which is increased the critical damage of all champions by 50%. Again, you're probably going to see majority of the players on this game with these two maxed out. I did used to have Pierce maxed, but I kind of thought to myself, not every fight that I have is against somebody that has armor. So I kind of thought it's not really benefit. I don't want to waste points in a mastery that's only going to be beneficial to me in only a certain amount of fights. Like, I'd rather my mastery setup be relevant to every single fight that I have. So yeah, and then this one here, increase the attack of all champions by 10% while they're below 50% health. Again, like, if I start a fight and I'm doing really well, and like literally I heavily kind of recently been using people like Scarlet Witch and Thor. Fights kind of end pretty quickly with those two, so this kind of means nothing to me really. As you can see, I have got these things unlocked because I have had them previously. I have had all these masteries, the glass cannons, the recoil, the liquid courage, the double edge. And the reason why I don't have them anymore is two reasons. One, because I'm not an arena grinder, and two, because I don't want to not be a team player by, like, you know, when you play Alliance Wars and you place your defenders, if you've got these masteries, every time your champions are using their specials, like, you're just going to see recoil. If you're playing against somebody who's really good at evading, all they have to do is just evade for the whole match. Like, and your champions will literally kill themselves just by using their specials. So that is one of the reasons why I don't run that setup anymore. The damage increase is great, but yeah, I just don't bother with it anymore. Despair we have maxed. The reason for this, like I said, I'm trying to heavily use Scarlet Witch now, and yes, against when I'm fighting people in Alliance Wars, in particular, I don't think I've used her in my Alliance Wars videos, only because since I've started playing in Tier 1 regularly, my Scarlet Witch is rank 4, and I would need her at rank 5 to be a real threat. So but when she's putting on all these different kind of buffs on the opponents, obviously if they got willpower, their health will just shoot up, but Despair helps kind of counter that. So that's why I've got that maxed out. I did have deep wounds. I think I've only unlocked the first rank 1 or rank 1 and rank 2. I can't remember which one, but I did have them. But the problem I found was that I wasn't really using champions that caused the bleed effect, so I kind of thought it was a waste really. So, you know, when I if I kind of change that up a little bit and start using someone that inflicts bleed heavily, I'll probably look at putting deep wounds back on, but for now I'm going to leave it at that. Right, so here I'll probably change this at some point, my defensive masteries, for a few reasons. One, I don't need war power maxed. Two, I don't need perfect block maxed. Well, I might not need perfect block maxed. The reason why I've maxed block proficiency and perfect block is because when you need to perform a perfect block in order to parry, and I do try and incorporate parry a lot within my type of fighting style within this game. So it was hoped that obviously if I have those two maxed, it would heavily reduce the damage that I take from parrying, which is why I've got those two. This one, stand your ground, that's just in there because I needed to use another point to open up willpower. And recovery is maxed because it maximizes the amount of health that I can recover if I'm using a champion that's regenerating, or from the willpower effect. I think it makes a difference as well. So over to utility now. Let's explain this now. So the easiest things to explain, first of all, parry and stoop fi. I think it's stoop fi. Right, so with those two, the sole purpose of those two masteries is to just increase the period of my stun. That is it. Nothing more. Yeah, nothing more. So right, then we're gonna go on to here. So limber. Now the reason why we have this is because of alliance wars. So when people are fighting any of my champs and they parry me, what's gonna happen is the stun is gonna instantly just go zoom, and like my champ's just they're gonna come to attack me, and hopefully my champ will just break out of the stun and be like, what are you saying? What are you saying? Back up, man, back up, bro. So that was why I had limber. Now dexterity, the reason why I don't have this at rank 3 is because the sole purpose of this for me is just having the ability to evade attacks. It's not so much for me about the damage that I do from the first hit after I evade. So that's why for me it's not really a big deal about it being rank 3. I just have it at rank 1 just so that I can evade attacks, and that's that. Now petrify. Now, as you can see here, when your champions inflict stun, they also reduce the enemy health and power gains by up to 30% for the duration of the stun. So, hold on, before I do that, I'll read this one as well. Pacify. When your champions inflict stun, they also reduce enemy ability triggers by 30% for the duration of the stun. So therefore, when we are fighting people like, I don't know, let's say for instance, Iron Man. If I was fighting Iron Man with a normal champion, not like a Black Widow, with a normal champion, and I parried him when he was close to triggering his arc overload, there's a 30% chance that his arc overload won't activate because of these two masteries. So, well, sorry, not these two, because of this mastery here. So because parrying, I'm trying to make parrying a heavy part of my game, and I'm sure it is a heavy part of you guys' game as well. These two masteries are key for me. You know, one in being that I do slightly more damage when the enemy is stunned, and another one being that the enemy, I have the ability to reduce them triggering their ability by 30%. Those two things are very key for me. So so that's why I have those two max. And then last but not least, Mystic Dispersion. This is what makes Magic beast. Your Mystic champions accrue 12% power each time an enemy beneficial effect expires. What? If you don't know what that is, do your research. Do your research, man. If you don't know, if you play in this game week in, week out, and you don't know what this mastery is, do your research. Go on Google, do some research, man, because you should know about this. But yeah, that's about it for my masteries. What I want you guys to remember is my Masteries isn't the best Mastery setup. I personally do not believe that there is a best Mastery setup. I think that everybody's Masteries are going to be different because of their playing style. Like your Masteries have to be suited to how you play and what kind of champs you use the most. For instance, if you're a person that uses Wolverine the most, you're going to want to make sure that you have that deep wounds maxed out, because I don't know how much it increases the bleed effect when you do max out deep wounds, but obviously I can imagine it would make a champ that inflicts bleed very, very dangerous. So it all depends on, you know, it all depends on what kind of champs you use, like, you know, who's the main champs that you use for Alliance Quest and Alliance Wars, and build your Masteries around those champions, because that's what you want it to be. There's no point in you seeing other people's Masteries and being like, oh yeah, I want my setup like that, but you're not using any of the champions that they're using. For instance, there's no point in you maxing out Mystic Dispersion if you are not using Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch. It kind of makes no sense. If none of the key champions you use are Mystic champions, there's no point in having Mystic Dispersion max. It's pointless. So make sure you tune your Masteries into the champs that you use. That is the key thing. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that you know, if there was any Masteries that weren't really clear to you guys by the brief description, I hope that I've helped to explain it in some kind of way, shape or form. But yeah, that's going to be it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.